Sini ko po. Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Magandang umaga, magandang tanghali at saka magandang gabi sa inyong lahat kung nasaan man kayo po. No? Ngayon, ito po si Nico Fabian sa Nick Talk, The Real Talk with Nico Fabian. And of course, what a beautiful Monday morning. Start na naman tayo ng 1 week, working days natin po. But I suppose, itong week, medyo medyo relax tayo dito sa Malaysia. I don't know dyan sa Pilipinas, but 100%. Mayroon kayong isang holiday this week, no? Dahil we are going to celebrate ang mundo. The Chinese community will be celebrating itong Chinese New Year, Chinese New Year celebration come January 29. Dito sa Malaysia po, ang first day is January 29. And of course, busy-busy mga tao ngayon, especially mga celebrants, no? Mga brothers and sisters natin Chinese. Now, hindi lang ang mga Chinese, but of course, lahat na mga Malaysiano dito po, no? Be it embracing Islam faith or any other religion, we are all joining together to celebrate or usher itong big celebration, auspicious yearly celebration which we call the Chinese New Year. And this year, this is we will be welcoming itong the Year of the Snake 2025. So prepared na ba tayo? Prepared na ba tayo sa celebration this week? Now is 27, 28, and 29. Mag-umpisa na po ang celebration ng Chinese New Year. Today pala, we are going to discuss some issues regarding sa Pilipinas. And of course, yon impeachment is one. The other one, tuloy pa rin ang topic natin tungkol sa national budget po, no? Ano nangyari sa national budget dyan sa Pilipinas. But anyway, before we will talk about these things, now let's talk about the Chinese New Year. For the information, ang mga kababayan ko dyan sa Pilipinas, and for those kababayan ko dito sa Malaysia, particularly sa East Malaysia, sa Sabah, sa Sarawak, no? We have two states in East Malaysia, that is Sabah and Sarawak. And for those mga kababayan natin sa iba-ibang parte ng mundo, mga overseas Filipino workers, mga Filipino migrants, and of course, just for the information of ang mga senior citizens natin, kagaya ko at saka mga super senior citizens natin, kagaya sino po? Sino po? Yun mga 90 plus and above na ang at saka malapit na mag centennial, no? Centennial celebration nila. Now, I would like to say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. At the same time, kung sa Malay pa yan, we'll say salamat pagi, salamat patang, and salamat malam. Okay, umpisa natin just briefly po, no? Just to have a picture kung paano ang Malaysia, particularly dito po, sa Sabah we celebrate ang Chinese New Year, no? Celebration or ushering the Chinese New Year celebration. At the moment, you go anywhere in Malaysia, sa mga commercial establishments, sa residential, houses, no? Now, you can see ang mga Chinese brothers and sisters natin, well decorated na sila po with the Chinese New Year. In fact, last night, I noticed mayroon tayo mga putukan dito po, ang mga firecrackers natin, no? Mga firecrackers, ang mga celebrants natin, they started lighting itong mga firecrackers. That's siguro po, that the signals na malapit na talaga ang Chinese New Year or Year of the Snake. Maingay na po ang Kota Kinabalu, no? And I suppose the entire Sabah maingay na when it comes to lighting or firing of firecrackers. In fact, ano lang tayo, no? Medyo ban yun dito, but we are following the tradition. And based on previous experience, previous years, when we celebrate ang Chinese New Year, wala naman tayong problema sa mga injuries or firecrackers. Definitely, we are going to experience another big, sabihin natin, firework display during the Chinese New Year po, no? During the Chinese New Year celebration. And today, I think ang some roads dyan sa Kota Kinabalu town area will be closed po dahil tonight we are going to experience once again, every year ito po, na ang Chinese night market. Chinese night market. It will go on until dawn tomorrow. Ibig sabihin, ang Chinese market natin, especially to be very specific, dito po sa Sigama area, no? Sigama area, dito sa Kota Kinabalu City, sa town proper. Some roads will be closed because makikita natin po, we will be able to do our last minute marketing sa gabi, no? Hindi sa umaga, sa gabi. You buy your fish, your meat, or whatever you want to buy in preparation. Last minute shopping natin po, marketing natin in preparation for the Chinese New Year celebration. So it will be closed and a lot of people will be gathering, will be going to this area to do their last minute marketing. So hopefully by tonight hindi mag-ulan, we won't experience heavy downpour. Now, I will try to go there and if I can do, kung walang ulan, I will do live reporting sa inyo po so that you will be able, especially mga kaibigan natin dyan sa Pilipinas and sa overseas, no? You will be able to see kung paano po, how we do our Chinese New Year market, night market po dito sa Kota Kinabalu. So let's pray na wala tayong udyan or ulan na mamayang gabi. Kung walang udyan, definitely I'm going to do live vlogging po mamayang gabi po dyan sa Sigama area or sa town area ng Kota Kinabalu. So at least you will be able to see. You'll be able to see and experience, maskin sa online lang po, no, sa mga headphones ninyo, you will able to see kung paano tayo, we are starting to celebrate itong Chinese New Year celebration, the Year of the Snake. All shopping malls dito po, wherever you go, no? Big small shopping mall or just ordinary medium-sized commercial establishments po dito. Now it is already well decorated. Started from Christmas, and then dumating na ang New Year, tapos mayroon na naman tayo ang Chinese New Year. After that, ang Hari Raya na naman po this year. So, ganito po. Topics that we are going to discuss. Topic that we are going to discuss today is, one is still ang BICAM. Then we are going to touch also a little bit on the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte. What is happening? Anong latest updates sa impeachment of VP Sara Duterte? Tuloy ba ito? Or what is happening now? Maghinto na ba ito and wait for the 20th Congress after the May 12 election or midterm election or what? Later on, we are going to discuss itong dalawang issue po. No? And kung may time pa tayo, maybe we will discuss something about ang a death penalty proposal dyan sa Pilipinas to implement itong death penalty for corrupt officials, government officials po, and itong mga appointed government officers, appointed government officers. So, okay, umpisa na tayo po. Shoutout muna tayo kay Noel Flores Tingson. Good morning to you. Salamat na pagi, Tuan Nico. Yes, salamat pagi also to you. Sama-sama. And I would like to say, God bless you also to you and to your wife and to your children and to your members dyan po sa Kota Kinabalu Sacred Heart. Ang Filipino Prayer Group, no? Which is headed by Noel Flores Tingson. Isang grupo yun po nila ng Filipino Prayer Group po. Very active yan sila po. When it comes to October prayers, rosary prayers, when it comes to Christmas, when it comes to New Year, when it comes to, sabihin natin, itong celebration ng Black Nazarene, and that was January 9, and of course, ang January 19, celebration ng Santo Niño po, no? Nakita ko sa Facebook, they also celebrated dyan sa Sacred Heart Cathedral, ang Filipino community. God bless to all of you. Alright. tuloy natin ang ligaya natin. And this time around, let's talk about ang impeachment. I received a lot of messages coming from our Filipino communities dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. And sabi nila sa message, Sir, ano nangyari sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte? Tuloy ba ito o hindi ito tuloy? But one thing sure, I can tell you, for the information of our viewers, mga followers dito sa NikTok, the Real Talk of Nico, ang Filipino community dito po sa Sabah, and I suppose even throughout Malaysia, ang Filipino community po, we are against. Most of us are against about the impeachment, especially impeachment ngayon po, ngayon during the 19th Congress po, dahil karamihan namin dito po, we believe na ang dami pa tayong mga problema dyan sa Pilipinas. But ang question ngayon, tuloy ba ito o hindi ito tuloy? Now, I have a little info on this impeachment po, ang procedure po. Then I'm going to share it to you. Some of you already knows the same, but for those who still blurred pa po, blurred pa ang procedures and bakit hanggang ngayon delayed pa po ang impeachment ni VP Sara Duterte. Now with my humble little knowledge, I will share it to you. Okay. Sa ngayon, mayroon tayong since December, mayroon tayong nag-file na, nag-submit na ng impeachment complaint. Tatlo na po, dyan sa Kongreso, House of Representatives, tatlo na po. And karamihan dyan sa Makabayan Block, tatlo na yun po. And they were thinking that since mayroon na yung tatlong complaints, mag-move on na ito, level up na itong complaint. But unfortunately, more than 1 month na po, walang nangyari po sa impeachment. And according to the Secretary General, si Reginald Velasco ng Congress, sabi niya, yes, he confirmed that mayroon na, they received already the impeachment complaint from or 3 impeachment complaint. And for the past 2 weeks yato, mag 3 weeks na siguro po, sabi ni Velasco, now we are still waiting ang another 4th complaint. And he was made to understand and he was informed na mayroon mga lawmakers will be supporting this 4th complaint. But hanggang ngayon po, walang nangyari. Nothing is happening. Bakit kaya po? Ang procedure dyan po, normally, si Secretary General it is his obligation, administrative lang ang role niya po. Once mayroon impeachment complaint submitted to him, then he will verify it. And what is the next move? Within 10 session days, after the verification of this complaint, totoo ba ito, ano ba ito, then the Secretary General will have to sabihin natin, bring it up to the Speaker of the Congress. And who is the Speaker of the Congress is Representative Martin Romualdez. Now, nakita natin po sa mga earlier news reports na si Velasco is waiting for the 4th complaint. So, consolidation of the 3 and the 4th complaint. Is it valid? Is it authorized by Velasco? I was made to understand po that hindi yun dapat po because what he has to do is upon receiving these complaints, verify it, kung everything is okay, signed by one lawmaker, even one lawmaker, in other words, okay na yun po, and then bring it to the Speaker for the Speaker to make a decision po. Ganon yan po. But to consolidate maghintay po another a complaint, medyo hindi yata yung tama po, no? Medyo hindi yata yung tama po. And I believe it's not tama, no? I believe it's not tama. There is no such thing as authorizing or giving the power for the Secretary General to consolidate all the complaints. In fact, you can make as many as complaints you want to submit to the Congress, be it 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12. No? Pwede yan po. Nobody is banning. The government or the Constitution is not banning anybody to submit a impeachment complaint against somebody. No? Against somebody, especially Presidente ba, Vice President, Justice ba, or Speaker ba, or those qualified for the impeachment. Impeachment procedure. So, consolidation po, wala yon. No? But it happened. It happened. It happened. So, within 10 session days, nag-lapse na yan po. Wala nangyari hanggang ngayon na hindi pa dumating itong mga complaints, 3 complaints sa opisina ni Speaker Representative Martin Romualdez. Also, as what I said, he is not authorized to consolidate muna. To consolidate. After that, once the Speaker will receive the complaints, then after scrutiny, then he will endorse it to the Committee of Justice dyan sa Kongreso. That is part of the impeachment rules, no? So, wala din yan nangyari po, no? Wala nangyari. So, apparently, parang nag-dribble lang sila itong complaints until finally, ilan session days na lang tayo dito po, mayroon. Before the Congress will go on recess. No? Mag-recess na sila po. I think February 14 yata, mag-recess na sila. So, yun po. What really happens? Ano kaya mga rason? Ano kaya mga rason? Now, according to the complainants as well as the general public, those who are monitoring itong sitwasyon, they believe, and I also believe, one of the reasons why nag-delay ito po, dahil siguro po, yon earlier, shall I say it, advice, or well-intended a message given by President Ferdinand Bongbong Marcos Jr. Sa Kongreso na do not proceed with the impeachment a process of VP Sara Duterte dahil po it will be a waste of time, sabi ni Marcos. Waste of time. Ang dami pa tayong mga problema dito po. And it will not do good to our country dahil po ang dami pa tayong problema. We have a lot of priorities and giving priority to the impeachment will not do good to the country or to the Filipino community. Yun po. That is one. And maybe one of the reasons why itong mga lawmakers natin po, no? Hindi pa sila firm ng decision nila to support the impeachment complaint. Maybe one of the reasons siguro is dahil po ang resulta, the number of people who participated sa Iglesia ni Cristo Peace Rally organized last January 13, if I'm not mistaken. No? If I'm not mistaken. Ang dami. 1.5, 1.8 million participated. It is a nationwide. Almost 2 million or more than 2 million po nationwide participated in the Peace Rally organized by, sabihin natin, ang Iglesia ni Cristo. That it shows, it gives a clear message to everybody that ang Iglesia ni Cristo, ang participants ng rally, they agree with President Bongbong Marcos that there is no point to proceed with this impeachment complaint against VP Sara dahil po, for a very simple reason, very practical and logical reason, that ang dami pa tayong problema and attention should be given to our more, sabihin natin, pressing issues dyan sa Pilipinas. The other thing I believe is siguro po, dahil itong server, they announced last month na 41% po ang mga Filipinos, no? Mga Filipinos, they support ang impeachment ni VP Sara. But 41% is not a majority. Is not a majority. Kulang pa yun po, no? Kulang pa yun. So siguro mga lawmakers natin, medyo apprehensive sila dahil majority of them, no? Majority of them. Sa Senado, ang mga party list, ang mga congressmen, ang mga lawmakers natin, dyan sa Kongreso, will be participating in the midterm election schedule on May 12. So, duda sila if they are going to go against, baka they are not going to get a support which they need to win in the midterm election come May 12. That is another reason po, no? That could be another reason po. Why dili-dali, no? Dribbling lang sila po. Nagdribble lang sila ang impeachment issue ni Inday Sara Duterte. So, that is also, sabihin natin, good para sa side ni Sara Duterte. And at the same time, playing safe ang mga kandidato natin po sa May 12 presidential or midterm election po. No? But kung gusto talaga, I think, si Speaker Martin Romualdez, Representative Martin Romualdez, dahil first cousin sila with the President, siguro din si Martin is not giving the green light to proceed with the impeachment dahil po kunting respeto sa Presidente and doubtful din siya po ang resulta if they are going to or he will give the green light to push through itong sabihin natin impeachment ni VP Sara. But anyway, sa side naman ni Duterte, ang side ng mga Duterte, walang problema. They are ready. Sabi nga ni Inday Sara Duterte, ready na ang team ng attorneys o mga lawyers ni VP Sara to face itong impeachment complaint. And one of the lawyers of Inday Sara Duterte or Vice President Inday Sara Duterte is her own father, si former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. But as things are moving now, I doubt sabihin natin, Speaker Martin Romualdez will give the green light to push through with this impeachment of Inday Sara Duterte, impeachment complaint against Inday Sara Duterte. Although, ang mga complainants, they're still hopeful, no? Mayroon pa daw, masking konti na lang panahon, they're still hopeful that it will still push through. They're hoping. But let us remember, itong impeachment process, anong resulta dyan? Ang resulta dyan, if VP Sara will be found guilty during the hearing, trial of impeachment, then dalawa lang yan po. She will be removed from the office of the Vice President. That is first thing first. And then the second one is that she will be disqualified, perpetual disqualification from holding any public offices sa gobyerno ba, no? For life. Hindi na yan po. Hindi na siya pwede po, no? To run as a candidate or hold any government positions po. But on the criminal side, wala yan po, no? You don't expect the trial or the Supreme Court will do something about, you will be put to jail, blah, 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 blah. No po, wala yan po. There will be another hearing, a case will be brought up to the Supreme Court and to determine whether VP Sara is guilty or not of the crimes committed. And once found guilty of crimes committed, then of course mayroon na yon mga penalties kay Sara. But sa impeachment, dalawa lang yan po. Removal from the office and perpetual disqualification po. Perpetual disqualification from holding any government official positions. Yun lang po, no? Let us be very clear on this thing. So, ganun na po ang impeachment. I hope whatever info I managed to give you now, it will suffice, it will clear up ang mga minds natin po, especially dito po sa Sabah, ang mga Filipino communities who has been sending me messages asking me kung ano nangyari sa impeachment ni VP Sara. VP Sara. So far, ganun na po. Nothing is moving po. No? Nothing is moving about the impeachment of VP Sara. Let's wait po. And of course, ako naman, I will try to do, or I will continue to be alert, no? Regarding mga updates regarding the impeachment of VP Sara. So, yun po. Okay, next topic natin po. No? Next topic natin is itong, sabihin natin, hot issue sa Pilipinas. Ang sabihin natin, ang BICAM. Controversial BICAM conference report po. BICAM conference report. And if you notice, ang title natin po, ang title natin po for today, itong January 27 Nick Talk, the Real Talk with Nico episode, ang ano natin po is, tama pala si Inday Sara Duterte, VP Inday Sara Duterte. Ano ba yung tama? Tama ano? Let's listen to this. Let's listen to this video clip that I recorded and will be sharing sa inyong lahat po dito sa programa. Let's listen to this.
Tingnan niyo ang debt, tingnan niyo ang GAB, General Appropriations.
Hold on, Okay, nandito po. Let's listen to this. Alright, sandali, We'll make it, okay.
Sinabi ko na yan, 2 taon lang nagkukontrol dyan. Ulitin ko lang mabilis. Si Zaldico, Marian Romales. Kita natin yan. Tingnan nyo ang NEP, tingnan nyo ang GAA, tingnan nyo ang tingnan nyo ang NEP, tingnan nyo ang GAB, General Appropriations Bill, tingnan nyo ang GAA. Makikita ninyo ang galawan dyan. Hindi na siya kailangan ng expert. Sundan nyo lang kung ano yung natubago. Anong isa pa? Na-proof ko dyan, yung AKAP. Diba? Nagtalo sila sa AKAP. Sinasabi ng mga senador, wala namin nakita yun noon eh. Sabi ni Sandy ko, o diba? Piniramahan nyo, digital signature ninyo, pinahiram ninyo, piniramahan nyo yan. Andun yan. Wala nang BICAM na nangyayari. Ang sa akin lang, presidente ka, diba? So you have the full cabinet of experts, finance experts, nandyan sa iyo. So nakikita nila, diba? President, Mr. President, ito po yung net natin. Pero pagdating po sa GAB, ganito na po yung nangyari. Di ba magtatanong ka na, ano nangyari? Bakit naging ganito? Di ba? O ano ba yun? Well, kung ako yun, ganun. Ano nangyari? Bakit ganito na ang GAB? Pagdating ng Senate, ano nangyari? Tingnan nyo. Bakit ganito na? Pagdating ng BICAM, diba? Merong daming insertions. Walang paper trail and then suddenly sa BICAM nandoon na. Di ba magtatanong ka? Bakit ganito? Ano nang ginagawa sa budget? Hindi ko nakita yun Hindi ko lang alam kung alam niya. But there is an expectation that alam mo kasi ikaw ang nag-submit ng NEP and nakita mo kung anong lumabas sa GAA. So there is an expectation na alam mo kung anong nangyayari sa budget. So, merong president na, okay, ito yung NEP, Then, after a few months, okay, ito yung yung wondering kung alam niya kung ano yung nasa page 2. Kinuha nila.
Yan po ang statement ni VP Sara, no? VP Sara or Inday Sara Duterte po regarding ito. Totoo pala po, tama pala ang sinasabi ni Inday Sara Duterte na 2 tao lang po mag-decide sa national budget natin. That is the former appropriation committee chairman. She was referring to si Representative Saldi Ko at saka ang speaker ng Kongreso si Martin Romualdez. Kaya nga po, nandito po. This is what really happened dyan pa ngayon ang controversy tungkol sa national budget ng Pilipinas 2025. Totoo, tama pala, no? For me, I look at it, tama pala po, no? Tama pala ang sinasabi ni Inday Sara Duterte earlier, no? Kayo po, what do you think? Tama ba o hindi? Kayo na po husga. Ngayon na nakikita na natin po ang mga concerned representatives natin, no? Na they are saying na may ebidensya, may evidence, may ebidensya, may saksi, may proof na something went wrong, sa procedure ng national budget po, especially itong issue na blank items sa bicameral conference report po, no? And then you see for the past few days, no, the issue was raised last Sunday pa ito po, last Sunday, no, 1 week na ito po. Now mga lawmakers natin, mga senador, lawmakers involved sa bicameral conference report, they refused to answer. And one of the talaga po, no, who replaced Saldi Ko, who is now the, sabihin natin, chairman ng appropriation committee sa Kongreso, is Congresswoman Stella Kimbo. For the past few days, nakita natin po ang mga media dyan sa Manila try to get a word or two or interview si Representative Stella Kimbo, but tumakbo siya po, no? Refuse or deviate or shy away from the media, especially she knows that the issue or that a question will be referred dyan po sa issue ng bicameral conference report. Ganon niya po. Okay. Sino ba ito? Si Stella Kimbo. But before anything else, I have, meron tayo dito po. Sino si Representative Stella Kimbo. But before I'll give you that video clip po, let's listen to this first. Ang programa ni Ted Filon. Ang programa ni Ted Filon at saka ang comment din po ni DJ Shasha. DJ Shasha. Saan na yun? Okay, let's listen to this. Sandali lang, ha? Do you agree or you don't agree? It's up to you lang po, no? My purpose is just to share this video clip sa inyong lahat.
The Filipino taxpayers...
Sandali, ha? Okay. Nandito po. Let's listen to this.
Nobody among the present senators, ulitin ko lang ha, nobody among the present senators dared and cared to scrutinize the budget documents. Hence, this controversy is now brewing. The Filipino taxpayers deserve an explanation. An examination of the enrolled bill printed by the House of Representatives and comparing it with the ratified BICAM report will expose those responsible. Sabi nga sa pelikula, I deserve an explanation. I deserve an acceptable reason. Paliwanag nyo, now na. Walang tumayo ni isa? 24 kayo dyan?
Oo, sabi rin sa pelikula, pwede second chance.
Nakailang chances na
Alam mo, sa totoo lang
Nakailang chances na yan?
hindi lang natuyo yung t-shirt ko nilaban yung sasasotong
Anong title?
Sa t-shirt ko,
Ano nakalagay?
Ang nakalagay sa t-shirt ko, hindi ko lang, sayang, hindi umabot ate din.
Ano nakalagay?
Nakalagay po, bold letters. Please, enough.
Yan po, enough is enough. Pwede ba? Kayo po concerned. Please come out and explain. Explain to the Filipinos. Explain to the Filipinos what really happened. Itong BICAM conference report. Yan na po ang hingi ang mga Filipino. Mga Filipinos po. That's the only thing that we want to know. And the truth will come out. No? Sana lang po. No? Ito si Representative Stella Kimbo. Ang mga senador, sila Grace po. No? Senator Grace po. Ang mga iba pa dyan who are saying na walang anomalya, walang problema sa GAA. No? Sa GAA. Sa national budget ng 2025 po. Please come out and explain to us. Explain to us po. Yun ang kailangan po. Shoutout muna tayo kay Marilyn Pintojo is also watching from Kuala Lumpur. Good morning to you, Mary. And yes, ingat lang ha. Ingat lang ang better half ko dyan sa KL. And of course, make the full use every minute, every second ka po while you are there. Enjoy your bonding with the children. Enjoy your bonding with the children. So God bless you and God bless our children too. And ingat. Always ingat. Okay, let's go now to sino po? Si Stella Kimbo. Sino? Si Stella Kimbo. And mayroon tayo dito po. Video clip that I would like to show to you. Ngayon. And kayo na po bahala. Listen carefully and kayo na bahala. Ang mga reaction ninyo po. You have the right. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to open your mouth. Freedom of speech. Ganun na yan. Freedom of speech. Nandito po. Let's listen first. Itong video clip natin po about Stella Kimbo and other senators po dyan sa Pilipinas. Involved talaga po. Involved din po sa sabihin natin itong controversial issue regarding ang national budget. Listen to this.
Si Stella Luz Alabas True Kimbo ay ipinanganak na Nobyembre 23, 1969 ay isang Pilipinong politiko at akademiko na nagsilbi bilang kinatawan para sa ikalawang distrito ng Marikina mula noong 2019 bilang miyembro ng Lakas CMD. Dati siyang nagsilbi bilang Commissioner ng Philippine Competition Commission o PCC mula 2016 hanggang sa kanyang pagbibitiw bago siya tumakbo sa pagkakongreso. Nag-aral sa Universidad ng Pilipinas sa Diliman. Sinimulan ni Quimbo ang kanyang karera sa akademya bilang professor sa kanyang alma mater bago naging ganap na professor sa Erasmus University Rotterdam sa Netherlands mula 2011 hanggang 2013. Pumasok siya sa gobyerno noong 2016. Matapos italaga ni Pangulong Benigno Aquino III, siya ay nagsilbi bilang komisyoner ng PCC. Noong 2019, si Stella Quimbo ay nahalal bilang kahalili sa kanyang asawang si Miro Quimbo. Sa pagpasok ni Quimbo sa Kongreso, dito siya unti-unting nakilala na isa rin sa mga nakikita nyo sa mga hearing sa Kongreso. Ngayon ay isa siya sa mga nai-issue sa corruption, tulad ng nakakakilala sa kanya, na si Sandra Cam dito ay ibinulgar niya ang tungkol kay Quimbo. Eto, panoorin nyo.
So ano pong reaction doon sa sinabi ni Congressman na Marcoleta na bakit sinisingle out si Vice President Sara doon sa mga sa confidential fund?
Yun nga, etong mga kongresista, as if they are so clean. Eh, mga kulog din kayo. Isa-isahin natin, like itong si Kim. You're just a mere teacher. UP ba siya? Teacher ba siya ng UP? Noon naka-bicycle. Ngayon, ano na? Acting like a big, billionaire. Pati mga relo, mga bag, mga damit niya, yung brooch niya. Saan mo kinuha yan? At saka yung husband niya may kaso din ng graft and corruption.
Kung inyong mapapansin, Ano ang dahilan nito upang magsawalang kibo sa isyong ito na patuloy niyang iniiwasan ang mga tanong sa bagay na ito? Na isa siya sa mga pumirma at saksi sa pagpirma ng Presidente Marcos sa budget ng 2025 na talagang mapapaisip kang mabuti kung bakit may mga blanco ang mga ito. Nangangahulugan ba na meron talaga silang plano na makakuha ng pera? Nalimpak-limpak na salapi sa pondo ng kaban ng bayan. Talaga bang lantaran na ang korupsyon sa kasalukuyang panahon? Na ang mga politikong pinagkatiwalaan ninyo at binoto nyo ay madali nang nasisilaw sa malaking salapi na habang gumaganda ang kanilang pamumuhay, ang taong bayan naman ang naghihirap sa buhay. Kaya pag-isipan ninyong mabuti ang mga nangyayari ngayon, piliin ninyo mabuti ang karapat-dapat mamuno sa ating bansa. Maging matalino sa pagpili ng tao na niluluklok natin sa gobyerno. Karamihan sa mga ito ay pera at kapangyarihan lang ang gusto. Kung gusto nyo talaga ng pagbabago, palitan nyo lahat yan ng bago.
Si Marikina Representative Stella Kimbo naman ang Vice Chairperson ng House Appropriations Committee nung ginagawa ang 2025 budget at acting chairman ngayon. Sinubukan namin siyang tanungin tungkol sa issue.
Between the BICAM and the enrolled, at what point did the figures come in? If it's just a procedural thing for Congress.
Nasagot na lahat.
Paano ma?
Sige po, let's wait na lang po sa...
Na-explain na lahat.
Ha?
Na-explain na lahat. Si SP, na-explain na lahat. Pare-pareho ang mga blanco na mga ito. Ang BICAM report ang niratipikahan ng Kongreso para maging basihan ng enrolled bill at ang mapirmahan ng Pangulo naging General Appropriations Act o 2025 National Budget. Pero kung ikukumpara sa isa na batas na General Appropriations Act ang mga blanco sa BICAM report ay napuna ng kabuang halagang di bababa sa 138.36 billion pesos. Pinakamalaki riyan ang budget para sa NIA kaugnay ng Agriculture and Fisheries Modernization Program. Blanco ito sa BICAM report pero nalagyan ng 56.4 billion pesos. Ang sabi ng mga komikosyong mambabatas na puna ng mga blanco sa enrolled bill pagkatapos nilang i-ratify ang BICAM report. Kaya tanong nila sino ang gumawa nito.
Ang BICAM, anong taga Senate or Congress for the enrolled bill?
Both. Meron technical working group.
Ayon sa pahayag ni Attorney Vic Rodriguez, na isang matalik na kaibigan ni Bongbong Marcos na ngayon ay isa na sa bumabatikos sa kanyang administrasyon. Lantaran na daw ang panggagago nila sa mamamayang Pilipino na isa sa mga dahilan kung bakit siya tumakbo bilang senador dahil sa death penalty, na gusto niyang ipatupad dahil daw sa mga politikong kurap sa ating bansa upang magbigay banta sa mga ito. Dahil wala nang takot at kahihiyan ng mga politikong nakaupo ngayon, eto panoorin natin.
Nagkaroon ng 6.32 trillion pesos na figure bilang ating budget, panay blanco. Pipilitin ko pong ipaliwanag ito sa pinakasimpleng pamamaraan na kaya ko, ha? Yung budget ko kasi maraming natatakot dito. Akala nila napakahirap, napakasalimuot. Hindi po. Ginagago na po tayo, mga Pilipino. Tayo po'y patuloy na binubudol. Ang budget po for 2024 ay 6.32 trillion pesos. Paano sila nagkaroon? O how did they arrive at 6.32 trillion pesos budget and figure? Ang dami dito na nakita ni Congressman Sid Ungab na mga blanco. Base sa kanyang initial na pagsasaliksik, 11 item lamang po yung blanco. Pero marami pa. Ito pa lamang ang kanyang ibinibigay at napapakita sapagkat ang budget po natin ay around 222 pages yata, more or less. So balik po tayo sa budget. Bakit po mahalagang nakikita nyo itong in-expose ni Pangulong Duterte? Sapagkat ito na po ang budget ng Pilipinas. Blanco. Tapos ang pinirmahan ni Bongbong Marcos ay 6.32 trillion pesos. Paano siya napunta sa 6.32 trillion pesos kung napakaraming blanco? Halimbawa, mga kababayan, habang kayo po'y naghapunan, samahan ko kayo. Pasimplihin natin itong diskusyon sa budget. Tanungin po ninyo ang inyong anak, kung meron po kayong anak na elementary, ha? Tanungin po ninyo siya. 1 plus 1, sasagutin po kayo nun. Sigurado yan, tiyak yan, 2. Dahil 1 plus 1 ay talagang 2. Pahirapin po natin para masubukan ninyo yung galing ng anak ninyo sa math. Tanong niyo po sa anak niyo, 2 plus 2, sasagutin po kayo, pihado yan, nakakatiyak din po ako, 4. Tama na naman. Gawin natin mas mahirap. Tanungin po ninyo yung anak niyo, 3 plus blank. Yan po ang tanong niyo sa anak niyo. Pagalitan ninyo pag hindi niya kayo sumagot. 3 plus blank equals ilan? Yun ho ang naging resulta nitong pangbubudol ng vice cam. Tanungin po ninyo, mga kababayan, ganito po kasimple ang aking pagpapaliwanag dito sa mga blankong ito. 3 plus blank, ito po ang ginawa ng Bongbong Marcos administration. Ito po ang ginawa ng mga mambabatas. 3 plus blank is equal to 6.32 trillion pesos.
Okay, narinig niyo po. So, anong say ninyo? Matig ba? Sana all. Sana all. Kayo talaga, no? Kaya nga, mag-ingat-ingat tayo po pagdating sa May 12 midterm election. Let us vote according to let's cast our votes according to our conscience. Tingnan natin po ang mga aspirants, mga kandidato po. Kailangan na ba to allow them to hold the same position, or we have to remove them and give chance to other young, aggressive, and very sabihin natin knowledgeable din po, no? When doing their sabihin natin responsibilities as an elected officer or official dyan sa gobyerno po ng Pilipinas. Ingat talaga tayo po this time around. Tapos na po. We have experience ang mga performances itong mga incumbent natin po, no? I'm not saying all of them, but there are quite a number of them na nakita natin po, no? They took advantage of their position po. They took advantage of their position to enrich themselves. May mga personal agenda sila po. They're not really concerned. During the campaign period, they're talking about, I am very concerned. I will protect the interest and welfare of every Filipinos if I will be elected. If you will give me this mandate to represent you dyan sa Kongreso or dyan sa Senado or as a public elected official po. Tingnan natin po ang background nila. Do not simply be convinced by other friends of ours or mga relatives natin po, no? That vote, ang power natin to vote is our personal power po. Tayo lang po. They need us now. That's why makikita ninyo po itong mga kandidato po. They will sweet talk to us during the campaign period. During the campaign period starting next month. Hanggang sa May 10 yata yun po, no? Listen, attend ang mga forums, attend ang mga debates, attend ang mga dialogues, no? And listen itong mga kandidato. And listen to them, observe, and see. Make a judgment before casting your vote, whether these people are sincere or not. Some people will be talking about, if elected, I will make sure that I will give you, I will make sure na may mga bahay kayong lahat. But kaya ba yun po? Anong klaseng position is he aiming? Or are they aiming? Under the ano ba yun sila? Jurisdiction nila, responsibilities nila to make sure na they are there to make laws. I will make sure that I will give you additional financial assistance. Itong financial assistance po, pera natin yun po. What they give to us now and during the campaign period, for me po, I'm sorry to say that, kunin ninyo po. Because that is your own money. Kunin ninyo po, that's your own money. Kulang pa ngayon what they're giving, 5,000, 10,000, mayroon pa yun na 10,000 daw. Tapi, once after you sign, hindi nagiging 10,000 po, nagiging 1,000, 2,000 na lang po. And saan ang balance napunta? Yun po. You have to realize this thing po. And, be very careful and observant itong mga salita ng mga kandidato natin po for the midterm election. And think about the future, your future, our future, and the future of our children, the generations and generations to come. Yan na po ang mensahe ko po. And later on, kung walang ulan, walang ulan po dito sa Kota Kinabalu, as what I mentioned earlier, when I open up this program, I will try to try to go online, and show to you kung paano ba ang Chinese New Year market, midnight market po, how we celebrate dito po sa Kota Kinabalu. And similarly, the same thing, you will experience sa ibang parte dito po sa Malaysia when it comes to the night market, Chinese New Year night market, which will be tonight. So siguro mga 7:30, 8 o'clock, then I will go there and do the live streaming po. Kung walang ulan. Kung may ulan, pasensya lang po. So, it means tomorrow, after the night market tonight, it means tomorrow, ang public market natin dito po sa Kota Kinabalu, especially those Chinese operating ang mga stalls sa public market natin po, serado yun sila lahat. Serado. That's why you have to do your marketing tonight or today, starting from 1 o'clock in the afternoon today hanggang early morning po or hanggang bukas. After that po, wala na. By 5 o'clock, wala na po. Serado na bukas ang mga public markets natin, especially those vendors or outlets, no? Operated by our Chinese friends, Chinese brothers and sisters po. Yun po. I will see and I will pray na wala tayong ulan tonight. So siguro, you can also buy your mga lemon leaves po, no? Kasi mayroon yan sila mga believe you have to bet. Magbigo kayo po with this, you put a salt, Chinese salt, I don't know what is the name, and then with the lemon leaf para to remove ang mga negative energy daw po sa atin. And we will have a prosperous and sabihin natin good year 2025. The year of the snake. Year of the snake. So siguro hanggang dito na lang po ang programa natin. And of course, let's be careful and very observant pagdating sa Chinese New Year, and let's make this Chinese New Year a very peaceful, memorable, and problem-free Chinese New Year celebration this week, January 29. Ang Malaysia, no? Normally we are going to celebrate ang sabihin natin ang celebration for the first 1 week po. Karamihan ng mga opisina dito po sa Malaysia, serado po. Kasi ang mga may-ari, mga Chinese, they will not be working. First 1, 2, 3 days po. Andyan na yung mga open houses po. So be careful ang mga intakes natin po during the celebration para wala tayong problema sa salud, sa health natin po. No? Sa health natin po. And those who are going out for balik kampong, we call it the balik kampong, going back to our relatives sa mga barangays or villages, drive slowly po. Make sure that your vehicle are all in a tip-top condition, and drivers, tip-top din po. Tip-top talaga ang condition natin, and have a rest every 1.5 hour if we are doing itong sabihin natin long distance driving. Long distance driving. Ingat lang po. Nandyan din na mga enforcement officers natin, mga police and other uniform personnel. They will be conducting roadblocks, no? To make sure that everybody, road users are sabihin natin following ang rules and regulations sa traffic po, no? Para wala tayong problema. To all the Filipino communities dito po who will also be joining the celebration this week, please make sure that once you go out, no, especially the mga overseas Filipino workers, once you go out, participating or attending open houses, bring your documents po. Just in case mayroon mga checking na wala tayong problema, you will be able to show your proper documents to the authorities concerned, no? Para wala tayong problema. So, all the best. Hope we are going to enjoy itong Chinese New Year. And Chinese New Year po, this is being celebrated for 15 days. The last day of Chinese New Year will be the Chap Gome. Chap Gome. It means, I don't know if it will be on the 12th or 13th yata po. Or maybe siguro sa 14 pa po. Timing ang Valentine's Day. So, ganun po. Medyo toned down ang activities dito sa Malaysia, dito po din sa Sabah or sa Kota Kinabalu po during the 15 days Chinese New Year celebration. So with this, I would like to say thank you very much for making me a part of your day today. Malaysia, Sabah, the Philippines, God bless us all. I love you all. Thank you very much for watching and see you tomorrow. Bye.